Hiya. Hello. Welcome to my YouTube. This is the first video I've done to put up here. So hopefully we'll tackle a few topics in time. If there's anything that you want me to have a ramble on about, just send a message in and I'll do my best to reply like this as soon as I can. You know, being transgendered is not a path that anyone will take lightly. It's like it's possibly one of the hardest things to actually do in life. It's because a lot of time, I mean, some people are lucky and they have supportive friends and family and whatever, and some other people aren't so lucky and they end up getting disowned by everybody who used to know them. So it's almost as if they have to start off again in a world that sort of sees them as some kind of freak or whatever. And the sad fact of the matter is that most people who've had to overcome everything to actually exist and be who they are, who they truly are, that is, then in a way they're more sane and more emotionally stable than most of the people who are like ripping them to shreds. There's a lot of issues with being transgendered, meaning, employment, just going to the shops can be a trial because it's like you're the cabaret every time you go out the door. It's good in a way. If some people actually, it's good to go out there and interact with people because only by interacting with people do people actually you're giving people the chance to accept you. Say for instance, if you hide yourself away, then you're sort of inviting the whole, people pointing, oh, what's going on over there, who's that sort of thing. Whereas if you actually approach people and be open about who you are and stuff, I mean, it's not easy to do. I mean, it's what I've chosen to do because for me personally, once you know something, you can't then not know it. And when I began to live as Stephanie, who I am, then there was a lot of people obviously raised eyebrows and like what's going on here and all this type of stuff. In my old life, I was a very dysfunctional person. I spent nearly 30 years of my life addicted to cannabis and antidepressants, basically trying to block life out. Many relationships which were always doomed before they even began because I could never find a sense of peace in anything that I did. I always knew that like I wasn't right and that something was wrong. And it was like the funny thing is, if you'd have said to me way back then, like that this was what it was, then I would have said to them, "You're joking." And there was no way on God's green earth. I mean, I can walk along the street now and you'll see some young lads maybe like, they like take the mickey in somewhere or something. And I was actually out with my son and his girlfriend the other week and I said to them, I says, just ignore it. Because at the end of the day, when I was their age, if I'd have seen someone like me, I'd have probably been the same as them, if I'm totally honest, So, it takes a level of understanding on all sides, like for this whole world to go around in any way, So you can't accept understanding if you're not willing to give understanding. I mean, that doesn't excuse, downright nastiness and stuff like that. But, it has to start somewhere. And if you can go out there and actually be real in yourself, then it doesn't matter what the world says. If somebody told you a joke that was the funniest joke in the world, you would kill yourself laughing. And if someone told you the same joke the next day, you'd probably have a giggle as well, and it'd still make you laugh and that. But if someone told you the same joke every day, then sooner or later that joke stops being funny. And, I think in a way, that's what people need to do. I think you need to get out there and understand that you are going to get looks, you are going to get comments, you are going to get people who don't understand. And, as I said earlier, if you're transgendered and you've decided to, I mean, because there's a lot of transgender people who don't go down the transition route. They may know that they're transgendered, or they may know that they're not right, or they may know that the male seeing the world through female eyes, or female seeing the world through male eyes, and it makes it be too much for them to actually deal with. And, so they find other ways to get through life. Now, for me personally, it got to a stage where I couldn't do that anymore. So, ta-da, here I am, and it's a case of, now I think to myself, actually, I should have done this years ago because I've got actual peace of mind. I've been living real life, as you say, legally. I'm in my second year now. The waiting list on the NHS is an absolute nightmare. So after a while, I did some research and I thought to myself, well, because I wasn't feeling right in myself, I thought I'm going to go down the self-medicating route. No, I wouldn't advise that to anybody unless you do a lot of research. But there is if anyone wants to discuss all that type of stuff, they can send me a message through, and I'm quite happy to discuss, like what I did. But you need to be aware of everything that you're doing, and you need to keep your doctor in the loop as well. I mean, I told my doctor, and like they said to me, they said, well, they can't just go and put you on hormones. You've got to go through the proper gender clinics and stuff like that, which I understand because there's a lot of people who might go down that road, and it's not for them. But I mean, from my point of view, I had 8 years of counselling and then a year of psychoanalytic psychotherapy before I even went to the doctors. Counselling kept coming round to seeing the world through female eyes. And I used to think to myself, does it mean I'm gay? And, like, not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but, like, in my old self, I actually went on a date with a bloke once in my old self. And I thought, something, I'm just not gay. Simple as that. And, like, it's part of the rules. If you're going to be gay, you've got a fancy bloke. Anyway, I suppose I'll do a video about sexuality and stuff because the whole thing with once you get on the transition road and the hormones get into your system, it can rewire everything. Oh, by the way, can you see my cat there? Hey, Pixie. Pixie. Oh, he's a bit. This is my. He's a bit nonplussed. He's just not interested at all in videos and stuff. So he may come over. You never know. Where was I? Yes, sexuality. I'll cover a little bit on this now. I'll do a little bit on loads of different subjects, and then because it's the first YouTube video I'm doing, I imagine there'll be a lot more. Oh, here he comes. Hiya. This is Pixie. Hello, Pixie. Yes. Now, I've had these actually. I call him my geezer. He was what I call it when he was born. Hello. When he was born, he used to run to me as if he was a dog. And I'd be stood at the kitchen at the oven, and he'd jump up and he'd like sit on my shoulder while I was cooking and stuff. He actually went missing when he was about. He went missing when he was about a year old, and he went missing for about 2 years. And I thought he was gone. And he what they call it. On this certain day, I was taking my other cats to get doctored, and he turned up. Oh dear me, bless you. He turned up on the wall, and so I thought, oh wow. So anyway, he come to me, and I put him in the box and got him doctored. Anyway, I kept him in for about 3 months, and then I thought to myself, oh, I can let him out again now. He'll be all right. I let him out, and he went away for another 6 months. Anyway, he turned back up, strangely enough, and that was it. He's never been out since, and now he's totally a house cat. So he's about 11 or 12-year-old now, mind. There's him, and there's his brother as well, called Gizmo. Gizmo is actually a 3-legged cat. I'm sure you'll see him at some point in time as well. But this is, don't tell the others, but this one's my favourite cat. Right, back to sexuality. In my old self, there was no way on God's green earth I would even find males attractive in the slightest, really, not at all. 8 months on hormones, and brain does sort of get rewired sort of thing. And I must admit I am sort of developing a fascination for that side of things, but I suppose the term would be classed as pansexual, because I mean, I think I can be attracted to anyone really. I'm attracted to the person rather than the gender. I suppose that brings in male, female, male to female, female to male, trans. It's not a case of being greedy at all, you know what I mean? Because I suppose whoever you're with, you just work the mechanics out. But like, I'm not interested in any, in taking any of, you know, the old perceived roles, if you will, you know. But, so again, I'm quite open about things. So if there's any topics that you want me to cover, I'm quite happy to do so. What else? I can't think now. That's it. You get a cat sat on your lap and everything you were going to talk about just sort of disappears out of your mind. Doesn't it, mister? Right, go on then, off you pop. Go on. Right, I'm going to... Here it comes. Hello. What? Yeah. The funny thing here, I was in Eramis, which is I was in Eramis, which is the housing association, and they didn't understand transgender, and says, "Oh, but it's a lifestyle choice." I said, "What do you mean it's a lifestyle choice?" I said, "Do you think I'd choose this lifestyle if it was, if it was?" And and she said, I said to her, I says, "Do you know the difference between a transsexual and a transvestite?" She says, "No." I said, "Well, transsexuals have more cats, as you can see." I think partly, I think the whole, I mean, I've got friends who are cross-dressers. I've got friends of every denomination, if you will, every sort of category. But I think in a lot of ways, I think transsexual, I don't think they've done many favours by the public's perceptions of cross-dressers. I don't think they've done many favours by the LGBT community, to be honest with you, because it seems to be LGBT, and the T seems to come on the end of the LGB. But lesbian, gay and bisexual is totally about sexual preferences, and being transsexual is about who you are. It's, you know, I've known some transsexual males and females who would class themselves as gay, straight and lesbian. There is not, bisexual, sorry. There is not, it's not like a one size fits all. People are different, and to say that lesbian, gay, bisexual can talk on trans issues is the equivalent of having somebody like that talking on race issues, or having a handicapped person talking, or having a blind person talking on deaf issues. It's just, it's like, you know, I think transgendered people need to stand up for themselves. I think they need to speak up for themselves, and I think they need to actually represent themselves. And that's just how I feel. I think as time goes on, years ago there used to be a lot of transgender, there used to be a lot of lesbian, gay people who used to get like lots of, you know, discrimination against them and such. Where nowadays that isn't really the case. I don't feel, although I may be proved wrong, but in general it's a lot more accepted in society. Whereas I think being transsexual, covering like, so I can't really speak for cross-dressers and transvestites, because a lot of cross-dressers and transvestites would be presenting as their cisgendered sex in their day-to-day. You know, so you probably wouldn't even know that there were cross-dressers and transvestites, and that's male to female and female to male. You know, because obviously there's a big role-playing society out there. You know, not that I know anything about any of that, but I'm a good girl. But yeah, I think transsexual people need to start standing up for themselves. I think they need to start speaking for themselves. I think they need to get off the back of LGB, and I think that is the way forward, because that is the only way that we're going to actually get the acceptance that we deserve. As I said earlier, you don't choose this life as a whim. You know, it's like, for me, if I didn't choose this life, there'd be a puff of air just blown by, because I'd be dead now. I wouldn't even be here. 30 years diagnosed chronic depressive and all this, that and the other. And I don't even have depression now, to be honest with you. I don't take any antidepressants and my life's my own, and it's all for the sake of being true to myself. Now, like, if there's anybody who wants to sort of, like, chat or anything about any of these issues and stuff, because obviously remember this is just my first video I've put up here, I'm quite happy and willing to chat and gab on, could probably win prizes for chatting. So, feel free, add me on Facebook, Stephanie Elliott Lowther, 2 L's and 2 T's in the Elliott. I took that name after, in homage to Elliott Smith, whose life and music and just energy means a great deal to me. Yeah, I think I'll call it a day there, and I'm sure I'll be able to do this again and put another few videos up, but in the future I think I'll try and stick on topic and stick to defined points. So if you've got any questions or comments or anything like that, just let me know. If you're going to give any rude comments and stuff, just jog on please, you know what I mean, because I have enough of that on my day to day. Alright, take care for now, and I will find where's this one. I will see you all again sometime. Take care. Bye bye now.